These 13 health mistakes held me back for years. Each one taught me something that changed how I live and train today. I am by far and away the healthiest I have ever been, but I did a lot of things wrong to get to this position. Some of these might surprise you, and there are definitely a few things you are probably doing yourself right now. If you want to get in great shape and stay there, these are the traps you need to avoid. It took me over a decade to figure this stuff out, and you are getting it in under 10 minutes. Right, let's kick it off. Here's the first mistake I made and why it mattered. The first one is I used to hate vegetables. It sounds like a bit of a childlike problem, but I didn't eat them for years. Now, do you need to eat vegetables to be healthy? No, there's been an uptick in recent time of the carnivore diet, for instance, and they don't include protein, so yeah, you probably don't need them in your diet. But it wasn't until my late 20s that I started making an effort to include them. Vegetables have a bunch of micronutrients that we need to thrive in our everyday life. The thing they helped me with the most was just realizing how filling they are. Vegetables help you stay full, they keep calories in check, and they add essential fiber, which we need for optimal health, especially with our gut and just keeping away some nasty diseases that we don't want any part of. Number 2, I didn't chew my food. Well, I didn't chew it properly, at least. I've always eaten like it's my last meal. I don't know what it is. It's just something in me. Maybe it's the old Neanderthal or my inner ape, as my missus would tell me. But there's a big problem with that, and that's I just wasn't chewing properly. Now, chewing might not seem like a big deal because once it's in there, your body's going to do its thing. That's what you would think logically. But it does actually seriously impact your digestion, for one, your energy, because your body isn't breaking down that food as well, and it's taking longer for you then to get that much needed energy from your food. And even how satisfied you feel after you've eaten it. Make sure you chew your food thoroughly. Maybe not to the point it's like a paste, but do chew it more than once or twice. Number 3, I try to out-train a poor diet, a phrase that you have probably heard a bunch of times. Like most people early on in their fitness journey, I thought exercise could cancel out bad food choices, when obviously we know that's just absolute nonsense, because exercise is a terrible way to burn calories. And when your diet and training are working against each other rather than for each other, you're never going to see much progress. Now they work side by side to help me meet and match my training needs and just help me smash my goals. When I did that, that's when things really started to move. I started to get in better shape. I started to perform better in the gym. I've recovered better. I just felt overall just like a better version of me. Number 4, I didn't value sleep. When I was coaching in the gym full time, sleep went out the window. It was not a priority, which was rich coming from a guy that was telling his clients they needed to get enough sleep. But my schedule was just absolutely rammed. I would get home by 9:30, 10 p.m. and then I was back up, leaving the house at 5:15 in the morning. And in that time, I had to cook, sleep, return client messages. For a few years, I just got by on minimal sleep, and I did what most entrepreneurs do, and I wore it like a bit of a badge of honor, which we both know is just absolute bullshit. Now, sleep is my best friend. I love the stuff, whether that's mouth tape, nose strip, magnesium, earplugs, you name it, I'm doing it. So now I know much, much better. Sleep isn't something you can just fit in. It is, without doubt, the foundation that everything else sits on. Number 5, I carried too much body fat. Simple as that. Even though I was super active, especially in my 20s, I still did carry just too much body fat. As much as I would like to think I wasn't, if I'm being completely honest with myself, and I look back at pictures and I compare myself then to now, I was definitely carrying too much timber. And the thing is, lifting weights, strength training, building muscle, it can trick you. Ta-da! You may know what I mean here. So you look solid, so it's kind of easy to convince yourself and just other people as well that everything's fine because you look good in a t-shirt or you look good in a vest. But if you were to pop that vest off or pop that t-shirt off, you might not be as lean as other people perceive you to be. Poor body composition, it's not just about aesthetics, it's about the impact that it has on your health at every level. So when I sorted this out and I got my shit together, It made me feel better. I was able to perform better, and I just looked sharper and felt better. People can tell you that how you look shouldn't impact how you feel, but let's be honest, we both know that's not the case. When you look better, 99% of the time, people will feel better. So even though I got stronger, I got healthier, when I did get leaner, it had an impact on my mental health because I just felt better in myself. I was more confident. My energy was up and I made better decisions with my business and just overall life in general. So just another reason to keep your body fat down at a healthy and reasonable level. Quick heads up, a few of the biggest mindset shifts are still coming. One of them completely changed how I train today, and it might do the very same for you. Number 6, I drank way too much alcohol, just way too much. In my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, to be honest, I was drinking several times a week, 2, 3, 4 times a week. You name it, I was there. I got the t-shirt. I've got more hangovers than most people will have hot dinners. And to be honest, I don't regret a single part of it. Now, I could still train, and I wasn't actually missing training sessions. I was still extremely committed to my workouts. But when I look back now, there's no doubt alcohol slowed down my progress. It's physically impossible that it did not slow down my progress. Obviously, the impact it has on your sleep alone is enough to slow you down in a big, big, big way when it comes to strength, looking good, feeling good, performing good. So yeah, it's not very conducive to good health and fitness. Right, we've got a biggie now, and that is number 7. I ignored pain like an absolute idiot. I had shoulder pain for ages, just years. And even though I knew how to fix it, instead of dealing with it, I just trained through it like an absolute ignorant asshole of a young lad in his mid-20s that just wanted to get big and strong. I told myself it was nothing, just like a bit of tightness, which I knew deep down was just absolute nonsense. I just had to warm it up. Turned out it wasn't just tightness, it was of course a shoulder injury, and pushing through only made it worse. Shock horror there, eh? Think of pain as your body's way of just waving a red flag. It needs to stop. It's already waved the white flag. It's tried to surrender, and now it's got the red one out because you've been an absolute idiot. Do not make the same mistakes as I did, because it cost me a lot of training. It caused me a lot of pain and discomfort. So if you got an injury, deal with it now and just make it a thing of the past, because it will bite you in the ass. I promise and guarantee you that. Number 8, another idiotic one, but hey, you do this sort of shit when you're in your 20s. And that was, I use sunbeds. Yes, this one, it makes me cringe. I didn't go crazy, but I had a pretty regular tan for a few years, which for an Irishman, I can only imagine the looks I was getting in rainy London come December, January, when I was strutting down the street looking like I just came back from Marbella. Looking back, easily one of the stupidest things I've ever done. There's just no upside to it. If you're going to tan, just grab a fake bottle. If you're going to get ridiculed, so what? But it's a lot better than getting yourself some nasty skin cancer. If any of this is hitting home, good. That means you're learning faster than I did. And trust me, mistake number 11 is one nearly everyone makes. Number 9, I let my step count drop way down. When I was in the gym, when I was smashing out 8, 9, 10 sessions a day, I was doing easily 14, 15, 16, sometimes 17,000 steps a day. Then when I moved online during the pandemic, that number just split in half, just way down. I was looking at more 6, 7, 8,000 steps a day on average. Even though I was trying to be proactive with it, I didn't really take much notice of it, to be honest, because I didn't ever have to focus on my steps because I was just so active naturally through my job. Nowadays, though, I make a conscious effort to stay active outside of the gym, back up to over easily 13,000 steps a day. It's no coincidence that since this uptick in steps and this extra activity, that I'm the leanest I've been in years. And I put that solely down to just a high step count. Number 10, I was a chronic mouth breather. Didn't actually realize how much this was actually affecting me. But once I started working on nasal breathing, so just breathing through your nose, my sleep, my stress, and overall just cardiovascular health started to improve massively. Mouth breathing might seem harmless because it's something that you do every day, but over time, it chips away at things like your ability to recover, your stress response, and also just your overall energy levels. If you are a mouth breather, please make more of an effort to breathe through your nose. One of the things I do for that is I wear a nose strip to sleep, and I also tape my mouth shut. Okay, we got 3 left. Please stick with me. Number 11 is I watch the news every morning. First thing in the morning, what would I do? I turn on the TV and I let the news run in the background while I got ready. And then when I was working, a lot of the times it was just on in the background as kind of like a bit of a white noise thing. It sounds harmless, but it's a terrible way to start the day. There's just nothing but negativity just coming in and in and in, and just stress and all this before you've even had your coffee, or at least your second coffee. Nowadays though, no news, there's no TV on, I'm in my office, I'm smashing out work, there's no noise, and I start the day on my terms, and to be honest, it has made a huge difference to my headspace. Number 12 is I ignored supplements. My diets had gaps, especially when it came to omega-3s, because I don't eat any fish, any oily fish at all. You can't really count like battered cod, can you, or fish fingers as fish? So yeah, no fish in my diet. And instead of addressing it, what did I do? Just ignored it. These days though, I take a much more balanced and scientific and mindful approach to my supplements. And then on top of the high quality omega-3s that I'm taking every day, at certain times of the year, I'll take some vitamin D. I take creatine just every single day because it's just an amazing supplement. I also take a green powder because, as you've seen from the very first one, vegetables are not my best friend, even though I'm better. So I get a green powder to just help me bring up those vitamin and mineral levels just that much more. So if your diet is lacking something and you can't fix it with food, which is the first approach you want to go with, then good quality supplementation is very, very important. You can't supplement your way out of a bad lifestyle though. So yeah, make sure you are fixing that first. But you can 100% fill the gaps if there are any. Here we go. Last one, number 13. Unlucky for some, not unlucky for you. And that is I use way too much plastic. Didn't really think much of it at the time. But once I started hearing more about microplastics, and then I started researching and going into that topic a bit more and how they can actually end up in your food, I made some pretty drastic changes pretty quickly. A few of the things I did was I swapped plastic Tupperware for glass, super easy fix. I also switched cooking utensils that were plastic to metal and wood. These are very minor and small changes, but over time, they compound and they're going to help massively with your overall health. So yeah, you can see I've made plenty of mistakes, and I'm human, so I'll undoubtedly make a few more, to say the least. But very importantly, mistakes don't ruin your progress. Staying stuck in them, however, yeah, that'll do the trick just nicely. What matters most of all is just how you respond to these mistakes. If you can recognize your mistakes, you can then learn from them and then adjust your plan, you'll be able to make huge strides forward with your health and fitness. And that's the real key to lasting health and strong, sustainable, overall great performance. I want to wrap this up because I've waffled on for long enough. If you found this helpful and you are now aware of some of the mistakes that you hopefully will not make in the future, because I was just lucky enough, I suppose, to make them, then make sure you like, you subscribe, and maybe share the video with someone who needs to hear it. And then while you're at it, check out this video here if you want to make this year your healthiest yet. And till next time, just peace.